One of Canada's most iconic dishes is poutine, but Montreal is the city to get the best. We visited 3 famous restaurants, Poule Mouillée, La Banquise, and Au Pied de Cochon, to find the best poutine in town.
No, my pants are wet. Based off of the comments last season, we are in Montreal to find the best poutine.
Yes! And if you do not know, poutine is a Canadian dish that's like fries covered in gravy and cheese curds. What qualities are we looking for?
We are looking for... Okay.
Sorry.
So we are looking for fries that have a crispy outside and a nice plush inside. And the cheese curds should be flavorful and fresh, nice and melty. People say that the fresher the curd, the squeakier it is. The gravy should be thick and flavorful, and there should be enough of it to coat all the fries and curds. At each location, we will be asking which poutine we should get and judge based off of that.
Let's bundle up and get going.
It's
I got
so
you.
cold.
I got you. Come on.
So we're going to Lavenki,
Yes.
and this place is probably the most associated when it comes to poutine and Montreal. And we'll be trying the classic, but they have like 30 kinds here.
30 of poutine.
Of poutine.
I've heard about this one the most out of all the places.
Yeah, I did too, so let's go see what all the fuss is about.
Let's do it.
I heard about this place from a local that I met on the airplane. I think I love the cheese and the gravy, that mixture together is really tasteful.
A classic poutine is French fries, cheese curds, and a gravy on top. We use red potatoes because it's sweeter. We cut them by hand.
You want to just like blanch them first because that'll just like soften up everything. So when you drop it in higher oil after, it's going to get all crispy on the outside, like stay fluffy on the inside.
Why this thickness and shape and size?
If you go too thin, like the little stringy fries, then there's not going to be anything really fluffy on the inside. It'll just be like too crispy.
And we do the fries and do the pre-cooking. We need to cook them about 6 minutes at 285 degrees. It's very important to keep that temperature because it's gonna cook all the inside. When we're ready to do the poutine, we're gonna cook them at a higher temperature at 325. It's gonna be golden outside, but not too crispy. And after that, we put the cheese curds that must melt. It has to be at the temperature of the room and do a squish in your mouth. It's very good. The gravy must be like golden, have some texture in it, not too liquid. It's got to be a bit spicy too. That's the thing that differentiates us from the others. We keep it as a secret.
Everything visually looks
Gorge.
and the cheese is melted. Let's dig
So
in.
melty.
I got the squeak.
I got the squeak too, and I thought I wouldn't like the squeak. It was like, oh, look at this steam. And it's so cold out. This is so satisfying.
So right off the bat, we know that the curds here are fresh. They're melted because of that piping hot gravy. I'm gonna try the potato by itself. It's not like the fries that you are familiar with as an American because they're not so crunchy.
Like salty.
I know this is a very poor comparison, but they taste more potatoey than French fries does.
No, definitely.
You know what I mean? And like everything is very much kind of like a flash fried baked potato.
The potatoes are like not too greasy at all. They're just so satisfying. And it's so warm and soft. It's not like American fries at all.
They're honestly more like hash browns. The cheese curds here have flavor.
Oh,
it's
totally.
salty, it's fatty.
They provide the salt because I feel like the fries aren't
Yeah, the
super
fries aren't as
salty
seasoned
at all.
as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
But the curds, I like how they're this like happy medium between like completely melted and kind of like just like sitting there.
It's so flavorful.
So the gravy itself, it's not so thick.
It doesn't like coat your mouth. It just complements the fry.
I disagree. I feel like I'm not getting like a beefy flavor or like a hearty like.
It is more just like salty and fun.
I think it is great on its own. And the cheese curds here, I think, is the MVP.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. But the other places we'll be going to have like added elements. So we are going to Poule Mouillée. I think I pronounced that right. And this place is a Portuguese restaurant, and we'll be trying their fusion take on the poutine.
I'm so excited. It looks so good.
There's supposed to be a lot of bold flavors going on here, so I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Poule Mouillée is the takeout restaurant with the grill of the charcoal. We're working mainly with the chicken. The most popular in Poule Mouillée is the Poutine. The Poutine is the mix in the Quebec in Portuguese with the fried chicken in the charcoal and the local cheese, and I'm mixing with the Saint George from Portugal.
We have to stock a lot of potatoes. Our potatoes are pre-sliced. We cook halfway. We put it on the fridge. When they are cold, we fry them. We season our fries with the homemade spices. We know that the fries are ready because they make a little music. We're gonna top the fries with the local cheese, then the Portuguese cheese Saint George.
It's very strong. I put just a little bit.
See, but I don't think that that's like.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it smells good.
Oh, but it has a scent.
Yes, yes. This is a charcoal grill. It's a Portuguese chicken, and we grill around half an hour. The seasoning is garlic, paprika, and salt. Put also black pepper. The charcoal gives the chicken a smoky flavor, and inside it's very tender. Yeah. And now we're grilling the Portuguese sausage, chorizo.
With the meat, it's different. It's not like just cheese. The meat is delicious. Put some life in the poutine.
We chop the chicken and the chorizo fresh to water. And finally the gravy.
Oh my god.
It's a homemade sauce. It's another secret. And the fresh parsley. And it's the best poutine in Canada.
I'm very excited to try this one. The gravy looks so much more dark, thick and viscous. The meat, I'm a huge chorizo fan.
Me too, I love chorizo. And the chicken looks so good. This looks epic.
I know, it's like loaded up. This is honestly a bit much. I just drooled.
Oh my god. That is a lot of flavor. You wanted flavor in the gravy, and that,
This delivers.
my friend,
Delivers.
is flavor. And the
I can see,
spicy
yeah,
sauce.
that's what I was gonna
I
say.
want to drink that spicy sauce.
I think it really does serve a purpose of like cutting through all that richness, that spice.
Yeah, a little kick.
Also, these fries are a lot crispier than Lavenki's.
And I didn't realize how important that would be, because the crispiness of the fries with the gravy, like that's a perfect duo.
Because the chorizo and the chicken is like cooked on that charcoal grill, you get that nice smokiness.
And the char.
That paprika seasoning really does shine through. And you do get this lingering heat that's like very nice. This visually looks
Like a
very
lot.
overwhelming, but like flavor profiles are very bold, but it's not too much.
I
like,
don't think so.
Everything works together. And I think there obviously is a reason why Michael wants to keep everything a secret, because if secret got out, like,
I would take over the world.
yeah, exactly. Let's see if the cheese curds squeak.
Squeak, squeak. They squeak.
Not as squeaky as Banquise though. But the Portuguese cheese here, I'm not gonna even pretend to pronounce it, has that nice little pungency and like sharpness to it that I think, honestly, I would want more of. Do you have any qualms?
My only qualm, I liked how melty the cheese was at Banquise. And this cheese, I feel like could be a little meltier. But I don't really want more of it because there's so much going on. I feel like with more cheese, I would be overwhelmed.
I feel like we haven't done the hot sauce justice. We haven't done the spicy sauce justice.
That's the best spicy sauce.
So what is your favorite part of this dish?
I think this is definitely my fave grave. I should be a writer. I don't know.
It's gonna be very difficult to beat this gravy and beat the proteins here, but we have one more place and they're supposed to have a very rich topping.
I'm pumped because this blew my mind.
I know, this is gonna be a really hard one to beat.
I love Canada.
So we are going to Au Pied de Cochon.
Yes.
And this place is a Montreal landmark. They are famous for their elevated modern take on Quebecois food.
So what makes the poutine here special?
So the poutine here is supposed to be really, really rich and decadent because they use a lot of foie gras. So I'm very curious to see if this poutine, this famous poutine, is gonna be good.
I'm nervous. Should we go?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Au Pied de Cochon is the pig's foot. We do use a lot of foie gras in a restaurant, and it's probably an obsession, I would say. By the time they leave, the people who don't like the foie gras, they are converted, for sure. Everyone knows what ingredients are in the poutine, but the direction that we took is to put a nice product, the luxury product, the foie gras that we love to make, and to put it on the poutine to make it like accessible to everyone. It's a delicacy for sure. When you have it in the mouth, it's soft and it's an explosion of flavor. The fries is first blanched in the duck fat for like 4 minutes, and then we take it out. So it's the pre-cooking of the fries. The duck is fattier, so we can rend out the fat and reuse it to deep fry the French fries and also give a nice taste into it. After that, it's blanched to the order at 375 until the coloration is nice, golden and crispy. The gravy, it's basically a regular gravy sauce. We don't want to break the structure of what the poutine is, so we incorporate the foie gras inside the sauce and we bind it with the egg yolk and a touch of cream. Our cheese curds are a nice balance between the saltiness and the richness of the cheese. The trick was to not denaturalize the poutine. We have the sauce, we have the fries, we have the cheese curds, but also you want the texture of the foie gras in your mouth. If you miss one ingredient, you break everything. So you need to be structured with your product. And then we put the foie gras up top. And then goes the regular gravy for decoration. Touch of fresh herbs, so chopped parsley up top.
I'm very skeptical, Herrine. It's new to me.
This place is a destination, like truly people around the world have come here to try this famous poutine. So like being a person who does not like foie gras and so for someone who's never tried it, I'm really curious to see if we're gonna like this. I'm gonna just go right in for it. I think that is foie gras. The gravy here is like a lot more creamy and thick in consistency. Not as thick as ma Poule Mouillée. Shall we?
I'm so nervous, Herrine, but yes. Oh my God.
That honestly is one of the best things I have ever eaten in my life, like genuinely speaking.
So people say, oh, like this steak melts in my mouth, this melts in my mouth. They were lying. This melts in your mouth. I didn't even chew, it just went bloop.
So I've always hated foie gras. It was one of the few items of food that I just absolutely hated. Chef Michael said that people who come in here hating foie gras leave totally converted, and just one bite has honestly convinced me.
That's truly one of the most rich, flavorful things I've ever eaten.
It's so decadent, it's so luxurious.
So decadent.
And like, you're not going to be able to get this kind of poutine or flavor profile anywhere else in the world. You would think that the foie gras would be the star of the show, like the topping, but the gravy really is.
Because there's foie gras in the gravy.
When we said we were looking for a well-seasoned fry, this takes it to the next level because it's fried in duck fat. It's like, it adds to that extra level of decadent.
And it doesn't even need like salt, pepper, blah, 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 because it's fried in such a decadent
rich fat, yeah. And the fries, they're crispy, they're crunchy, they're the best potato that we've had. And honestly, because there's so much going on, the cheese curds are like kind of like lost, but let's give them a fair shot. Here, let's try the cheese curds.
And they're not as melty as I would wish, but...
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's see if they squeak.
Okay. Squeak, squeak.
They squeak.
These are very squeaky.
I have a hard time picking anything wrong with this dish. It's like, honestly, for me, perfection. I am honestly speechless that I like foie gras now. They managed to get a very hearty dish, make it so much more rich and decadent than it already is, but do it in a very well-rounded way. Like, this isn't overbearing.
This is like a treat yourself night out. Must experience this when you're here.
Honestly, Erin, I didn't think I would say this, but I like poutine a lot more now than I was coming into this whole thing.
I was a fan and now I'm like a super fan.
The 3 places that we went to were honestly all so great. It was so difficult for me to narrow it down.
They're also very different.
Yeah.
In their own way.
But I do have a winner now.
I have a winner too.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2,
2,
1. Okay, tell me why you picked Poule Mouillée.
The fries were my favorite. They're so crispy, so flavorful, and the gravy was so hearty and rich and thick. And I love the cheese curds there. They didn't have as much of a squeak as the other places, but I still really like the way they all paired together. And the chicken and the chorizo like brought it to the next level for me.
That chicken and chorizo
So
were like
good.
I feel like as much as Poule Mouillée was great, Au Pied de Cochon takes the Quebecois, French-Canadian culture and like the poutine to like new heights, and you cannot get that anywhere else. I thought the gravy was truly unlike anything else we tried, anything else I've had ever in my life. The potatoes were nice and crispy, they were well seasoned. If you're in Montreal and you had to pick one place to go to, it would be Au Pied de Cochon. Like, that would be my #1 recommendation. If you had to pick one place,
If I had to pick one place, I would pick Au Pied de Cochon. Because it is a unique experience, and it's like you're in Montreal and it's so special to Montreal, and like you are not gonna get this in the US anywhere.
or like anywhere else,
Yeah.
like in the world.
Totally.
For that reason, is it best in town?
It's best in town, Herrine.
There you have it.
But I would go here
We're not
after.
done.
What do you guys think? Is your favorite poutine Au Pied de Cochon or Poule Mouillée? Can you say them? I literally get so nervous.
Do you think Au Pied de Cochon is best in town when it comes to the best poutine, or is it Poule Mouillée or some place that we haven't visited? Let us know in the comment section below. Bye!